Hello everyone and welcome to Sinful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the grey. Today's video, we're going to talk start collecting Warhammer 40,000, and today we're going to take a look at the Chaos Space Marines half of the Wrath of the Soulforged King box set coming out this weekend from Games Workshop. Now, we're going to take a look at all the contents on the Chaos Space Marines side of the box set, talk a little bit about all the units inside said box set before further exploring some other options we can use to expand upon this initial purchase, and hopefully you manage to split it with a friend, or get both sides for yourself if that's what you like to do. Now, at the end of the video as well, after we've taken a look at these and some additional units, we're going to put together a 1,000-point army list using the brand new Army of Renown for Vashtor, the Cogs of Vashtor, which will allow him to create his own style of Chaos Space Marine army built around his infernal machines. And so, to start with, let's talk about Vashtor himself. So we have a nice, decent profile, 12-inch move, weapon skill 2+, ballistic skill 3+, strength and toughness 7, 14 wounds, 7 attacks, leadership 9, and a 2+ save. Standard armament is just being armed with Vashtor's Claw and Vashtor's Hammer. Now, Vashtor himself, he will have a few abilities, so he's got Warp Strike, and he's got the Body of Unholy Artifice, which will allow him to have a 4-up invulnerable save, and also just be -1 damage against all attacks coming into him. He's got a bunch of different abilities. In your command phase, you can select one of the following abilities, thanks to the Will of the Archifane. Either Unholy Mechanisms, where when you select this ability, you select a friendly Trader Astari's Daemon engine within 3 inch, and until the start of your next command phase, add 1 to its hit roll. Ghost in the Machine, when you select this ability, you select an enemy unit within 18 inch and halve the range characteristic of all ranged weapons in said unit. Amazing stuff. Or his other one is select an enemy vehicle within 18 inch and visible to this model. Until your next command phase, you halve its moves and attacks characteristic of models in said vehicle unit. So all in all, he is a really nice piece. He's got some pretty decent damage output, thanks to Vashtor's Hammer being ×2 strength, -2 AP, damage 3, and each time an attack is made with this weapon against a vehicle, on the unmodified wound roll of a 5+, the target suffers 4 mortal wounds and the attack sequence ends. So really good at going up and wrecking machines. And then his talent, Vashtor's Claw, which is 12-inch range, assault d6, strength 5, -2 AP, damage 1, ranged attack, and it'll automatically hit as well. Now, joining him, we have some Chaos Cultists. These are just nice, cheap bodies to give you some numbers on Vashtor's force. Not really too much to write home about. In Vashtor's particular Legion, they don't really get a lot more than just the base stat line. They can have a couple of cool different special weapons in flamers, heavy stuffers, and cultist grenade launchers, and even a bolt pistol on the unit leader as well. Now, the one other demon engine we get inside this box set is a fast attack choice called the Venom Crawler. Now, the Venom Crawler has standard. It's going to have its 2 excruciating cannons, which are Assault 3, Strength 6, -2 AP, damage 2, and Soulflayer Tendrils and Claws in melee will be the strength of the user at Strength 7, -3 AP, damage 2. So this thing's pretty darn good at taking out Space Marines. Now, it's got its own a couple of abilities. The Reservoir of Daemonic Energy, while a friendly Black Legion Psyker, or while a friendly Psyker is within 9 inches of this model, you can add 1 to psychic tests taken for it. And when the model is destroyed, it potentially can do some mortal wounds as it explodes as well. Now, the other unit we've got inside the box set are the Obliterators. They're a heavy support choice, and for me, one of my favourite things. Now, they don't have the Daemon Forge keywords, so they're not going to, be a demon machine or get many benefits from Vashtor, but they are just a super solid unit. Flesh metal guns have a variety of different weapon profiles. They can be anti-infantry, anti-heavy infantry, anti-vehicle as well. And they've even got power fists in close combat just for, some additional goodness. 2+ saves, 5 of them vulnerable, a super solid unit to have in your force. Now, if we're looking at where to go next, Forge Fiend for me is the first port to call. I absolutely love the Forge Fiend model. Now, this is a dual kit with the model we'll talk about in just a sec, the Mortal Fiend. But the Forge Fiend is the shooting variation. I love the ectoplasmic cannons. They just look absolutely awesome. Heavy D3, strength 7, -3 AP, damage 3, blast weapons are awesome. And you can have 3 of these on the model. You can also have the Hades auto cannons as well. Heavy 4, strength 8, -2 AP, damage 2. There are only 2 of these. The Forge Fiend jaws will be if you choose not to go the ectoplasma in its mouth. Strength user, -1 AP damage 2 as well. Now, it does have a pretty decent profile. 5 attacks in there, strength 6, toughness 7. All in all, pretty solid with a 3-up armor save and 12 wounds. Now, the Mauler Fiend is the other option. This is the close combat variation. It has 2 different main weapons it can use. Either the Magma Cutter, which are nice shooting profile weapons, which can be swapped out for the Lasher Tendrils. Now, the Lasher Tendrils are combat weapons. They're going to provide it with a few more little attacks, but you will get the Magma Cutters in there, providing you with some Assault 1 Melter weaponry, which can be really nice. And for me, it's still got its Mauler Fist in there at ×2 strength, -3 AP, damage D3 +3. So it's going to have them, and it can have either Lasher Tendrils or Magma Cutters. Other than that, the Siege Crawler ability, each time this model makes a charge, you can ignore all modifiers to said charge roll. Now, the next different machine we want to look at is the Defiler. This is the giant crab, an absolute iconic Chaos Space Marine vehicle. Now, the Defiler has so many different options it can take. First of all, standard-wise, it's going to have the Defiler Cannon, which is heavy D6, strength 8, -2 AP, damage 3 blast. It's going to have a Reaper Autocannon, Twin Heavy Flamer, and its Defiler Claws. Now, I can swap out that Twin Heavy Flamer for a Havoc Launcher or Defiler Scourge, and the mod's Reaper Autocannon can be swapped out for Heavy Bolters and Last Cannons, and it can also be equipped with a combi weapon on top of all of that. Now, lastly, I want to talk about potentially adding some Legionnaires to your force. I think Legionnaires are going to provide you with a much more solid unit to bring as an objective holder. Your machines in Vashtor can move up and do all the damage, but really you are going to need things to hold objectives. So while the Cultists can do that nicely with their numbers, if you're wanting one that is maybe better at holding objectives further infield, I think Legionnaires perform this role a little bit better. You can also bring in things like a Psyker thanks to the Balefire Tome, and a nice variety of different special weaponry. You can get a plasma pistol on the Sergeant, you can get plasma pistols on your troops, as well as plasma guns and other heavy weapon options. And you can also decently kit them out for combat with Demon Blades and even the heavy chain axe in the unit as well. And so here we have our sample army list. Now, we've gone for taking an Arcs of Omen detachment with heavy support as our base sort of allegiance, our base requirement. So we're going to have 3 heavy support in here, surprise, surprise, with what we're planning on adding to this force. Now, we have gone, obviously, with playing in the Vashtor Army of Renown, the Cogs of Vashtor, and he is going to be our Warlord. Now, this is pretty cool because the Warlord trait we're going to pick for Vashtor is automatically picked for us. It is going to be the Lord of Terror ability. So this is just going to, each time a morale test is taken for a unit within 6 inches of him, your opponent must roll an additional d6 and discard the lowest roll. And if that unit fails a morale test until the end of phase, it's considered to be below half strength, so it's going to be fleeing on 1s and 2s. So pretty cool stuff there. Now, troops-wise, we've got that Cultist mob with all their upgrades. They've got, the heavy stubber, they've got the flamer, they've got the grenade launcher, and the bolt pistol on the Cultist champion. Then we've got a Legionnaires unit, which are going to have a Chaos Icon. Aspiring champion will have a Demon Blade, a Plasma Pistol. We've got the Balefire Tome in there with Infernal Gaze, which is just a mortal wound-dealing psychic power, which is what we're sort of having this unit for. It's a nice little additional bit of power projection from it. Bolt guns, heavy chain axe, and a plasma gun in there as well. The Venom Crawler has its Excruciator cannons and Soulflower Tendrils as standard. Our Forge Fiend is kitted out with 3 ectoplasmic cannons. The Mauler Fiend, we've got the Magma Cutters in here to save a few points. 10 points just allowed us to get that Psyker in there for a nice couple of dispels. And then we've got the 2 Obliterators in the force, rounding us out at a perfect 1,000 points, 52 power level, and 5 command points to start the game with. If you've got some ideas on how you want to use Vashtor in your army, let us know down in the comments below. Well, that's the end of the video. We hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And also drop a comment down below letting us know what you enjoyed about the video. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our little community here at Cinderful Gaming, we have a Discord server which is linked down in the video's description. Also linked down in the video's description are the best ways to help support the channel, either by Patreon, YouTube members, or by grabbing yourself some merch from either our Ko-fi or Teespring stores. All of those things are linked down in the video's description. As a special thank you to everyone who does support us via Patreon and YouTube members, we'd like to give you all a shout out. So thank you to our Patreons, Christian Weir, Soren, Kenny Lowe, Outer and Shot First, Andrew Bowen, The Rising 8, Pure Dynamic, Anthony B, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, Benjamin Swallows, Red Martin, Iron Grinch, Nicholas Colomos, Colorblind Magic, Daniel Everington, and Andy C. And to our YouTube members, Green Roots Gaming, Ronya, Lock Lorick, The Johnny 84, David Ellsworth, Wolfric Nick, Broken Chef, Ariana Edwards, Revenar, Pink Nico Fire, Robin Mankiller, Monty Stabletop Terrain, John Castle, Davis Weir, James South, James Tillman, Dylan Areno, Gargamel 196, and Disco. Thank you all so much for your support, and special shout out to Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork for the channel, and to everyone who helps run the channel, whether that be on the Discord server as our mods, on our live stream mods, or the guys that come around and help provide the battle reports for you all to watch. Thank you all once again, everyone. Stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the grey. Ciao for now.